audio sounds good. All right, guys, it's your boy Malin, and we're getting ready to start another set of rebuilds. I don't know why my settings are off, but I was trying to share the link to my Twitter channel for the link for this live stream, but it's not letting me do it. I'm going to have to see. Maybe X, I should say. Maybe Elon's cracking down on that, but I don't really know. Anyway, y'all had a feeling that this is probably the next team that I wanted to rebuild, and it is. The Cardinals actually are the worst rated team in this game right now, but I've already rebuilt them. The next worst team is the Bears. And there's other teams that are, about the same. I mean, the Giants are actually as bad as the Bears right now. And I was debating about that, and I was also debating about the Packers and maybe the Panthers. But you know what? Here's the thing. The Panthers, they already have a new franchise quarterback in Bryce Young. For me, I'm interested to see if Justin Fields is the long-term answer in Chicago, or do we have to look at somebody else potentially as far as a replacement? So we're going to see what we can do here. So let's go ahead and change the role to an owner. And as far as the person I think I'm going to have as the owner, as the name for this, we're going to bring back somebody from the Hall of Fame from the modern era of Bears football who epitomized what it's like to be a real Chicago Bear. And that's Hall of Fame class of 2018, Brian Urlacher. He's going to take over as the owner. You guys know I like to include, names of former players who were Hall of Famers, and that's what we're going to do. So let me go ahead and make sure the starting point is on the preseason. It is, and league settings. By the way, I've not really shown you guys the league settings that I do, but this is what I go with mainly just to kind of make it as fair as possible. So coach firing, I always turn on because I want the rest of the league to be able to fire the coaches, and I want us to be able to, fire our coach. In this situation, Matt Eberflus, if he just can't catch on. Salary cap, I want that on. I want it to be accurate as I possibly can. So let's see, career clock on. All right. Full on-field control, I turn that off because if you're a player, then you control every position on the field, but it ruins the fun out of the game that way, if you ask me. So all the breakout scenarios, I want to keep those on. Quarter length, I always go 8 minutes for these. Keep the running clock, but keep it down to 15. Customize, weekly training, manual, injury management, preseason cut days, contract negotiation, scout college players, auto, league advancement, auto, managed practice reps, auto, because I don't really do practice stuff. That's that's just kind of boring, and it takes time. So, all right, so here we go. Starting up the Bears rebuild, Brian Urlacher is taking control of the Chicago Bears in 2023, and let's see what we can do. By the way, I'm finding out something that I didn't really know, because one of the things that I know about last year's Madden, at least on the PS4, is that you could actually start a franchise by doing the play now, and you could play as a team, and you could play that game, and then you could elect to actually continue with them in franchise mode at that starting point, because the records would be identical. You would be starting from that particular point, and you would continue on, and it'd be accurate regular season, like it'd be the accurate records and everything like that. The injuries, all that good stuff. Unfortunately, that doesn't exist anymore, at least for PS4, because I try to do it with the Bears rebuild yesterday a little bit. Just kind of was messing around a little bit with the Play Now feature, and it just doesn't work. So unfortunately, the best thing that we can do is we just have to start at the beginning. But one thing that is going to be true is that, to make it as accurate as possible, is that I'm pretty sure we're going to have any pre-existing injuries to start out this franchise. So here's one thing I want to take a look at, because I know in real life Justin Fields has missed the last few games, and Tyson Bagent, by the way, I did not know that's how you pronounce his name until I looked it up with my buddy from work, who's a lifelong Chicago Bears fan. So, I've taken a look at the Bears a little bit this season, and they've just been abysmal to watch. It's been a disaster. So I want to take a look at the injury report, because I know they put Justin Fields on IR, but is he out for the season? Okay, he is not. Okay, so we are going to be able to play with Justin Fields in the first season. Now, Khalil Herbert is on IR. He's got a dislocated ankle, but he's put on IR, and he will not be able to return. And Equanimeous St. Brown, wide receiver. He's got a dislocated wrist. He's out for 1 week. But, that's probably a pre-existing injury from even before the preseason even began. So let's go ahead and take a look at our roster as we get ready to kind of go through the preseason. I'm not going to play any preseason games. We're going to get to cut days because I want to make sure that I choose the draft class to make sure it's the accurate draft class for 2024. Always start the rebuild. Justin Fields, 74 overall quarterback. Is he going to get better and progress, or is he stuck? That's the question that needs to be answered in the first couple of years of this rebuild. Is he going to progress, or is he going to be a 74 overall QB? I don't know. And Tyson Bagent, of course, is backing him up. Shepherd University rookie. I don't know where Shepherd University even is, but he is a 56 overall backup quarterback. And Nathan Peterman, one of the worst quarterbacks in the history of the NFL, is our third stringer. 49 overall. That is awful. So Khalil Herbert, unfortunately, is out for the season, and he's our best running back. Now, if he comes back next season, that's going to be pretty interesting because our running back situation is not really that bad. We got some young guys. I do like Deontay Foreman. He's going to be our starter for this season. Rashawn Johnson, a rookie out of Texas. If he can progress, I think Rashawn could be that second back for us. And with Khalil Herbert coming back next season, who knows if he can develop even more. Blossingame is our fullback. DJ Moore is our starting receiver. He's an 87 overall. Of course, he was acquired in that big trade last year with the Panthers to move up to get the first pick and take Bryce Young as their quarterback. 87 overall. That's a good starting point for our number one receiver. 87. He's one of the top guys on the team. Now Darnell Mooney could get up to an 80 at some point, and St. Brown is going to be coming off the injury, so he'll be back. Now Tyler Scott, Jones, and Taylor, those are guys I don't really know too much about. I've heard of Trent Taylor before. I think he was drafted by the 49ers a few years back, but a lot of these other receivers, I don't really know a whole lot about them other than Mooney and Moore. And our tight end, Cole Kmet, is an 82 overall. That's a little bit surprising. I didn't know he was rated that high. 82 overall tight end who fits the scheme. That's a decent starting point. Mercedes Lewis is still in the league. Wow. Okay, well, Mercedes Lewis is definitely going to retire after this season. No question about it. 78 overall, 17 years in the league. This is his last year in the NFL. There's no way he's going to play. So a backup tight end is somewhere we're going to have to look at. We also have Robert Tonyan, the former Packer. I think he'll be here for a little bit longer, so he'll be probably our backup behind Kmet. Jones, Whitehair, Lucas Patrick, Taven Jenkins is our best offensive lineman, right guard, and Darrell Wright. And other than Jenkins, all of our linemen are in the 70s, so we're starting out a little bit low. Montez Sweat, I think he was a former Washington player, 83 overall left in. That's better than where we started the Patriots rebuild. Now, Ngakoue, I don't really know. 73 overall right in. He's been in the league for 7 years, getting a little long in the tooth. I may want to invest in him for maybe one more year, but I'm not sure about that. And Justin Jones, 73 overall. Billings, 73. So we got two 73 overall defensive tackles. So for defense, we don't have anybody in the 80, other than Montez Sweat. Now our linebacking core, it looks a little bit better. Now Jack Sanborn, a young guy out of Wisconsin, hopefully he can develop a little bit more and he hasn't hit his ceiling yet. Tremaine Edmonds, 84 overall middle linebacker, and we also got T.J. Edwards from the former Eagle, 80 overall right outside linebacker. So we have two really good solid starting linebackers. Our corner situation is looking okay with Jalen Johnson is our best one at 86 overall, and Kyler Gordon, 75, Tyrus Stevenson, 71. So we got a few corners in the 70s. So we're starting off not really in bad shape. Eddie Jackson, our starting free safety, 84 overall, 77 overall, Jaquan Brisker. Okay, all right, that's an interesting name. Second year guy out of Penn State. So our secondary actually is looking a little bit promising. With Johnson still here and Gordon being very young, I think that looks pretty promising. Cairo Santos is our kicker, and Trendon Gill is our punter. So even though our team is rated at a 79 across the board, and that's not really anything really crazy to write home about, we're starting out with some decent players for this rebuild in the very beginning. I don't think we're going to be a playoff team in year one, but we'll see how the roster progresses this year, and we'll see kind of what happens. So let's go ahead and advance through the preseason. Let's see if we get any more injuries, and we'll move on from there. We'll import the draft class, and we'll go through the first season. We lost our first preseason game to the Titans, and now we play the Colts this week on the road, and we'll see what happens with this game. And we win our first preseason game of the year, and we can actually upgrade some players. And I saw it at the bottom. It looks like we already got some trade offers. But they got to hit me with something pretty good, because something tells me that guys like Jalen Johnson may be on the block, but I don't really want to part with them for this season. Okay, so no, it's for Davis. Let's see. Let's review the offer. So we have offers for our right guard, Nate Davis. Well, right now I think he's our backup anyway. So maybe we could look into dealing him away. But let's see. We don't really need another running back. We don't really need... Edmonds, Rapp. Nothing really eye-popping from this offer sheet. But let's see here. You know, we could use another left outside linebacker on that side, you know, for depth reasons. And we could bring in another good running back in White. But Edmonds is better. But we don't really need another running back, essentially. Got a lot of young guys. You know what? Let's do this Raiders offer. We're gonna get Zahir White and Jenkins, a new left outside linebacker, and a new running back for the depth chart. And I mean, Khalil Herbert is gone for the season, so you know I think that is. I think it will help with our depth at running back to have another guy in Zahir White, who is a young guy out of Vegas, plays for the Raiders. So, you know, with Herbert being out for the season, I think Foreman, Johnson, and, you know, Homer's still here. Now, Zamir White is actually at the bottom of the depth chart, but still, I think, you know, if he can be a guy that can, you know, stick around for a little bit, I think that would be okay. And we also, in getting that, we got Jordan Jenkins as a new left outside linebacker. And he is one notch below Sanborn, and he also fits our scheme. So I was really kind of getting Jenkins. That's the main kind of attraction that I wanted. A guy who's still, you know, not really young, but, you know, 29 years old, 7 years in the league, and somebody who can back up Sanborn. So I like that. It may not have been the best move that I could have done, but hey, it's something to help out a little bit. And we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and play our last preseason game against the Bills. We're 1-1. Don't know if there's going to be any more trades during the preseason, but we'll see. So we only have to cut one player.
Easily see how. Here are some recommendations to
mostly
get you
because we probably did that trade. So let's go ahead and take a look and see who we can get rid of. You know, I want to keep 3 quarterbacks, so Peterman, you've dodged a bullet, sir. Now, with this, can we cut Homer? No, it'll give us a cap penalty. What about Evans? Let's get rid of Evans. We have a very loaded running back room, so we can afford to get rid of somebody, especially since we just traded for White. So let's go ahead and upgrade some players after the final preseason game. And let's get ready for the regular season. And our first matchup is against the rival Green Bay Packers. Our first matchup, the first matchup for the Bears without Aaron Rodgers playing for them. So pretty interesting to start out the season. But first things first, we got to get that draft class. All right, let's go ahead and take care of this. Download from Madden Share. Let's go get our 2024 draft class that I always love to select. And that one is pretty deep. It usually has all of the players that are pretty good. So let's go ahead and download that file. Let's go ahead and override it because who knows? He could have made changes. I want to, you know, as up to date as it possibly can be. As long as Caleb Williams and some other familiar faces are in here, we should be good. Yep, there they are. Drake May, Marvin Harrison Jr., Alt, Bowers, Verse, Turner. Yep. Chop Robinson, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Yep, that's it. That's the draft class. So we've got the draft class exported and everything, so we're good there. And let's go ahead and advance through this season. So we're going to go ahead and simulate to the middle of the season and see where we're at. I'm not expecting anything this season, no playoffs. I'm just hoping we can get at least a couple of wins. That's all I'm hoping for. If they exceed beyond that, then this may not be as tough of a rebuild as we expect, but we'll see what happens. But based on this talent level of this roster, I don't expect too much because we don't have anybody on this team in the 90s. Yeah, the highest rated guy, I believe, is DJ Moore at an 87. We don't have anybody rated higher than him, so, we've got some work to do. And then again, Justin Fields is only a 74 overall quarterback. And, if he doesn't develop a whole lot more, we may have to look to move on from him in the near future, but we'll see. This could be the toughest rebuild that I do, and I know I've said that before about past rebuilds that I've done, but I think this one is the toughest because there's really not a whole lot of attraction to coming to the Bears at this point of the franchise based on the way that they've been run lately. Our fan support is down. We have a quarterback that can do some things decently, but is not a guy who's going to be a dynamic playmaker, and we have a decent running back, but he's hurt all the time, and we don't really have elite receivers. We have one good receiver and more. We have some decent defensive players, but they're not really eye-catching, if you know what I mean. Well, we started off just about as good as I thought we would. We're 2-5, and we're playing the Chargers on the road. In real life, this was the first start for Tyson Bagent. Actually, no. That would have been the previous week against the Raiders, and we lost that game. But in real life, the Bears actually won that game to get, I believe it was their first win of the season. So, interesting. So let me go ahead and take a look at the roster, and let's see if we have any injuries other than Herbert at this point of the season. Hopefully nothing too serious. Well, Herbert's still on IR. He's, gone. Jalen Jones is out for 1 week with a back strain, and our center, Lucas Patrick, is out with a quad strain for 1 week. So we don't really have any serious injuries. So that's good. And another thing is our offensive line. We really don't have anybody good outside of, I believe our left tackle is the highest rated guy, and we don't really have a whole lot of, big name guys there. So, yeah. Well, we actually are not at the bottom. The Vikings are winless. Oh, my goodness. Well, if these rosters are accurate, Kirk Cousins is not playing. It's Joshua Dobbs. But I don't think Josh Dobbs' magic lasts a whole season. It only lasts for a few games. Because in real life, ever since Dobbs has been traded to the Vikings, I think he's won 2 in a row after he got traded from the Cardinals. But, with Dobbs starting the whole season for the Vikings, and based on the fact that Justin Jefferson's still hurt, they're bottom feeders now. And we actually got a 1-point win against the Chargers this past week, so that's pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and answer the media question. Let's see what they have to say. You're under 500 right now to win a Super Bowl, better than the record, but if not, there's going to be changes. That's what we're going to go with. That's the best answer we can give right now because at 3-5, we didn't have really high expectations anyway, so we're just kind of leaving things where they are. Let's go ahead and do upgrades for players, and let's take a look at the negotiation sheet and the section and see what guys we have contracts that we need to take a look at before we play our next game against the Saints. So
These
here we
players
are.
on the last year of their contract.
We don't have a
Choose
whole...
from 4 preset offers that
all right, I'm just trying to let that guy talk. So for the first year, we actually don't have a lot of cap space. But then again, in the first year of these franchises, for any team, it's what you're going to get. So $68 million in cap. Now, Austin Reeder, you're trash. We're not bringing you back. Now, Jalen Johnson, I want to see if I can get him back. Wow, that's a lot of money. But you know what? If he wants a long-term deal, let's go ahead and bring it to him. That took up $5 million. Now, Darnell Mooney at 80 overall. we'll come back to him. Mercedes Lewis, you're going to retire. I'm not even messing with you. Now, Foreman, but we've traded for, White, and we've got other good running backs, so I'm not going to worry about getting Foreman back. And we can probably get another good kicker in the offseason. Justin Jones, I think I'm going to bring him back for maybe 1 year or maybe a couple of years just for depth reasons, but I ultimately think we're going to get look for another defensive tackle in free agency or the draft to fill up that position. Ngakoue, we're going to let you walk. Tanyan, same thing for you. Same thing for Brown. Green, we're going to let you walk. Lucas Patrick, you're a starting center, but you're 69 overall. You're terrible. You can go. Feeney, you can go. Dylan Cole, you can walk away. Trent Taylor, bye-bye. Blackwell, bye. Peterman, definitely bye. Scales is our long snapper. We're not going to worry about bringing him back. Okay, so the only other guy that I'm considering even bringing back at all is Mooney. But we'll come back to that towards the latter part of the season because he's boosted up. He's got himself up to an 80 during the season at this point, but still not really anything too impressive. But we got Jalen Johnson on a long-term deal for a 5-year contract, which may be enough for this rebuild to see it through. I know that's a lot of money to invest in a corner, but 87 overall, he is our best corner, and I want him to be one of the center blocks for this defense. And we did bring back Jones, mainly for depth reasons for a couple of seasons, but we're letting some guys walk for sure this offseason, no doubt about it. So we got the 5-3 Saints on deck. We're third place in the NFC North right now. The Vikings are winless still at 0-8. They have yet to win a game. Packers are 5-2, and the Lions are 6-2. They are leading the NFC North right now. So those are the teams that are above us. And that's kind of accurate to the way that the NFC North is actually shaped up this year. The Lions are pretty good. Packers are struggling, but they're sort of still in the thick of things, but not really. Well, we lost by 1 point to the Saints, so we're losing some close games, but not bad. Let's see, we got a breakout scenario here. Really want defensive schemes, figuring things out. All right, so we got a breakout scenario. We'll do that. All right, and we're playing a team that is about the same record as us. We're playing the 4-4 Panthers. We're 3-6, although in real life, both these teams are even worse than they are right now. But it is what it is. So let's go ahead and see if we can get a win against Carolina. And we lose by 2 to the Panthers. Pretty sure that frustrating man angry defense. Yeah, okay. Well, the breakout scenario didn't really go in our favor this week, but it is what it is. Let's go... delegate decision to staff, upgrade players. Got a tough one against the Lions this next week, so an NFC North battle on our hands. We're playing the top team in our division. And this is pretty much the point that we are at in real life at the season, week 11. So maybe we can get an upset win over the Lions, but not holding anything to it. But the Vikings actually won their first game, so they picked up a win last week. And they're 1-9. So they're going to be the bottom feeders, not us this year. Unless they get like 3 wins or something and we lose out. But I don't really know if that will happen. Well, we're 3-8 right now. We lost once again to the Lions. So we've lost another divisional game. Let's go ahead and upgrade some more players. And let's keep moving on. I mean, with this particular way the Bears are, I like some of the players that are here. I feel like there's a chance for potential, but we just got to keep working hard. So the Vikings actually won 2 games in a row. They're 2-9 right now, so this is no gimme. This is going to be a pretty difficult matchup, potentially. So hopefully we can get a win against the Vikings. I'm pretty sure we're going up against Joshua Dobbs, so hopefully we can get a win. And we got a win over the Vikings. So we've won our 4th game of the season. We're 4-8 right now. No shot at making the playoffs, but we've picked up a few solid wins this season, and all we can do is just get some kind of momentum going into next season. That's all I'm really hoping to do. And I will play the final game of the regular season like I always do, and usually the first year of a rebuild because the team's usually bad. So we'll go on from there. Let's see if we can give some upgrades
Stat
to our
points
head
when you
coach,
have to see what some
Eberflus.
talent
Now,
trees make you
if
select
we
a
are just... Now, we're not very good, but I'm going to give Eberflus one more year next year. And if he can't turn anything around, if we're able to make some good free agency moves and make some good moves in the draft, then I'm going to consider going with a new coaching staff for year 3. But it's only the first year. You got to take baby steps. So let's go ahead and get ready past the bye week. We're in the bye week in week 13. And I think we play... I don't know who we play next week. I want to say it's Detroit again. Yes, it is. This is probably... no, this isn't a Thanksgiving game. That would be week 12. But yeah, we got the 8-4 Lions. They're pretty good. They're going to win the division. Although the Packers are one game out of first place. So they're 7-5. Lions are 8-4. So the Packers are creeping up a little bit in terms of challenging for the division title. So that's kind of the way that the NFC North is shaping up this year. All right, can we get an upset win over the Lions? We lost to them earlier in the year, a few weeks back, but can we go 1-1 for the series on the season? Is it